When you've got to cut those branches far away, especially up high, reach for a pole saw, not a ladder and a chainsaw. Trust me, I've got history to prove it. This is the Ego commercial 56 volt cordless pole saw. Now you get more than a 13-foot reach on this. It's the model number PPX1000, which is basically the head unit. And then you also have the saw attachment as well, because you can actually run this unit with a hedge trimmer as well. Now, I've got history of crushing a couple of vertebrae from trying to cut a limb on a ladder with a chainsaw. So trust me, don't do that. Reach for a pole saw, and why worry about gas and oil and worry about, cranking things up and starting things when you can have the Ego cordless running on a battery with plenty of power to cut through the limbs overhead. This is the Ego 56 volt commercial telescoping pole saw. Now this has a 10-inch bar and chain that we'll take a look at in a moment. Runs on a 56 volt battery. Also has a brushless motor that's actually up here at the head. It's not down here in the base of the unit. So the 56 volt battery is going to mount down here at the base. You get more than 13 feet, 13.2 feet of a telescoping action so that you can reach those faraway branches. And we'll measure what it is all the way in as well as what it is all the way out also. Aluminum pole, so light but also durable, nice and stiff. And as we mentioned, we get a 10-inch bar and chain, have an automatic oiler on here, and we have a true stud and bar nut here that actually retains the tension on the blade. So if we need to tighten that up, we can loosen this bolt a little bit and then tighten the tensioner just like on a typical chainsaw. It came to our attention that we never really looked under the hood here for you guys to see what we have going on. You can see we've cut a few branches now. So typical bar and chain attachment, we can actually flip this over. Once we use it a few times, flip it over, get even wear. 7/2 sprocket. This is our oiler gasket here, which lines up with the hole on the bar that actually oils that, so you can flip it over either way and it's going to work. Typical adjustability or tensioner right here, and then of course we have the stud there to retain the bar. They've really set this up nice because here at the base you can hold it back here and have a trigger right here at this handle, or you can actually hold it more conventional style right here and have a trigger there. So depending on the orientation, how you want to hold this, it determines on which trigger you would like to grab. Both triggers, you see safety triggers to actually dead man switch, push that forward, and then you can pull the trigger, same way back here. But either trigger will operate the saw. Now the great thing is this acts as a power head as well, so you can actually attach a hedge trimmer onto this as well, get that same telescoping action with a hedge trimmer. With such a long saw, obviously we'd want to strap with that, which you get that with the kit. And by the way, the model number on this is, this portion here is the PPX1000 and this is the PXX2500. And if you get it together, I believe it's the PPSX2504, which comes with the saw, with the base model, the PPX1000, and a 5 amp hour 56 volt battery and charger. Obviously you get the strap as well. Get a 10-inch bar and chain with a low kerf chain, as well as you have your oil tank here, and you can actually adjust how much oil you want going onto the chain right here, so you can actually tune it the way you want it. And also the brushless motor that's driving this. You get what they call the metal bucking spikes. I really wouldn't call those bucking spikes, but basically you get a limb puller there, or a hook where you can grab dead limbs and pull them out, or limbs that are stuck and pull them out, as well as a little bit of grip there if you are wanting to kind of push into that limb as you're cutting. And chain speed is 20 meters per second. The telescoping action is very easy here on this big collar here. You turn it to the right to loosen it, slide it out where you want to, put it back down, and that locks it into place. Loosen it back up and push it in. And you see you have a max right there, which it actually stops as you're pulling it out anyway. And if you'll look here on the other end of the pole, you'll see the electric connections right here. So you can see there's no shaft running up here, just wires that are then controlling the motor at the other end. And hooking this up is very simple. Just slide it in. You get a mark right there, you know that's the top. It locks in. As soon as it locks in, clamp it down, and now you're ready to go. So let's actually measure this, and I'm going to measure from the tip of the blade to this handle here. You're right at 8 feet. So 8 feet to the front. Now that's to the tip of the blade. If you looked at the middle of the blade, then you're going to take off about 5 inches there. And so you're looking at 8 feet back here on the back side of the handle. So depending on where you're actually holding this, how high on your body you're holding it, is going to determine how much reach you get. But that's 8 feet all the way in. So let's move it out and see how far we get. And now we've got it extended all the way out. So the tip of the saw to the front of the handle, 11 feet 1 inch. Back here to the back handle, 11 feet 7 inches. And then obviously back here to the back of the saw is 13 feet. So I guess you can call 13-foot reach from this back handle. But again, you're going to extend it even further depending on how high off the ground you're holding this, based on your height or how high you hold it on your body. So let's say if you're holding it another 4 feet high, then you could easily get a 17-foot reach on this. And here underneath the base of the unit is a place for the scrinch. So you can actually store it right here, and then as you need to tighten the blade or the bar and chain, you can do so. Now this is a pretty small limb, and it's only about 10 feet off the ground. You can see, get good chain speed, and we get a good brake as well on the electric motor, stopping that blade or that chain really quick. Now this one is about to right there, 8 feet, and that's at least another 6 feet off the ground. So we're about 14 feet right there, and I want to be back behind this limb. I don't want to be directly under this as we cut. And here's a little bit larger of our limb, so we'll give it a go. Now with this 10-inch bar and chain, we were actually cutting through stuff that was bigger than really you should have been cutting with a pole saw, something that should have been reached with a high lift or a lift truck or something like that. But anyway, we just wanted to prove that it would cut through that, but not recommended. So your typical 4- and 6-inch limbs that are overhead, this thing's going to cut through those very easily, got plenty of power to do so. Did we get it in a bind a couple of times on those larger ones? Yes, we did, but again, we expected to do so. We were literally cutting capacity that was beyond the reach of the actual bar. But the Ego performed very well and we had no issues. Just pull the trigger and it goes. Or should I say triggers, because Ego has 2 triggers on here that allow you to grab this in whatever way it works best in that situation, because both of them activate the saw. So we really like to see that. The handle also allows you to grab this in a few positions. Of course, you get the lanyard with this as well. Now let's talk about pricing. If you bought these independently, the head unit's going to run you about $400. We saw it for like $399. The pole attachment or the saw attachment is going to run you about $250. Now that's $650 combined, but you're not getting a battery or a charger. Again, this is a commercial pole saw, so you got nice heavy duty, beefy aluminum construction with easy telescoping ability. Now you can also buy this as a package where you actually get the head unit, the saw, a 5 amp hour battery, and a charger for $799. So that's probably the best option, especially if you're not on the Ego platform already. If you are already on the Ego platform and you have batteries and chargers, then by all means, buying these independently may save you a few bucks. And then again, you can add the hedge trimmer attachment as well. Hey, be sure to check it out. We'll have a link in the description to these. Also keep track of us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and even TikTok. And if you don't mind, would you hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already? And if you hated our video, well, give us a thumbs down. But would you let us know in the comments why? Have a great day. Keep smiling.